Hi, this is Yan Wang. You guys can call me Philip, and today we are going to unbox pretty much the best rubber in the world. We have the Japan national team D09C. Like, I can't believe I'm unboxing this. This is crazy. And also the China national team D05. This is going on my very close friend's rubber, and since they cost like in here D09C and 05 cost like 90 something dollars, I was like, heck, why not just like source it in China and like, you know, around the same price and get like the national team version, because pretty much they're the best rubber in the world. You can argue the player version of Hurricane 3 that I use on the forehand, it's around the same level, but once again, butterfly is butterfly, right? They're the big guys, big dog in this. So there are fakes on the market. So I want to just check, because butterfly did put it out on news, the example of the fake. I will have the picture here. So that's what the fakes looks like, and this is ours. I'm gonna try to turn the lights on more, get a good lighting, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the D09C. There's some Japanese here, AVB, and then some Japanese here, 2.1 degrees. It's definitely different from whatever the fake is, and then it has China engraving right here. So one thing I want to make sure this is real is the hardness test, because this is what the actual pros use, and pros sponge are a lot harder than our common plebs. Yeah, like the pros are a lot more powerful than us, right? And they hit hard and they can hit through, so they need very hard sponge to support. So this D05, we're gonna measure its hardness using a durometer. So this durometer is like short A. It's probably a lot different than what butterfly uses. So to give you like an example, D09C, the commercial regular version, is 32.5. I measured it using this like 2 nights ago. I'll have that picture here. And D09C05, so that's 44 in butterfly scale, and D09C05 is 40. So in theory, a regular D05 is much softer than the D09C. Commercial to commercial, like normal to normal. So let's find out how hard the Chinese version, the China version of D05 is. Okay, let's go. 32.5. So this is as hard, almost as hard as D09C. 31, 32. That was flat, 32. 32.5. Oh, it's glitching a little bit. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna zero it just to make sure this is right. 32, 33, 31, 32. So this is 32 basically around. So this is not 100% accurate, but this is around 32 hardness, right? That is just south of a D09C. So this is almost as hard or as hard as a D09C, even though this is a D09C05. So you guys can see here, D09C05. So undoubtedly this is a real deal right here. And we're gonna, oh my god, so the surface, because I have been touched a lot of D09C05 on the surface, and this is insanely grippy. Like the dirt is just sticking onto the top sheet. Like I can see a bunch of dust here just stick on the, like, this is not tacky. Oh, it's actually like feels a little bit tacky, but it's not. But when you rub it, it's like glue. It's like sticking onto my finger. Like dust is just like getting stuck on here. So I'm gonna blast this canned air to get rid of them. So like this is ridiculous. Like no wonder pros are that. I mean, like the pros, of course, they use like better stuff than our commoner pleb, right? And dang, I can't even get this thing off. Like I'll find it out. I'll clean it out later. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like the grip on this, it's crazy. It feels like a D09C grip, but it's not tacky. It's crazy. And you saw the sponge hardness, it's 32 to 32.5. That is just as hard or almost as hard as a 44 degrees commercial D09C. Absolutely crazy. So what I'm gonna do is these two rubbers, I'm gonna put like a layer of Falco because we are not pro. She's not pro either. So that will soften it up a little bit, put it on Viscaria, and hopefully she'll go crazy with it. I think she will. So my friend also blessed me to unbox this myself, even though it's hers. And let's go. This is Japan national team D09C, and I can't wait to see how crazy this is. Cause that surface feels ridiculous on that rubber. Oh my god. So you can see the packaging is different. The normal D09C packaging is this, and this is the what the national team uses. So, oh my god. Here we go. Okay, interesting. So this actually looks like a commercial version, like the it says BB 2.1, bunch of numbers. So now let's measure the hardness of the Japan National D09C. I know the commercial D09C as seen before, it's 32.5. I'll show it again. So we know the hardness of the commercial is 32.5 on this equipment, specific short A, whatever. And that's 44 degrees on butterfly scales. It's around 55-ish ESN scale. I'm not too sure, but we're just gonna go by my scale. This is not 100% accurate, by the way. So let's see how hard this is. 34. 34. 34. So this is 1.5 degrees harder on using this than the commercial version. So it's at 34, which is absolutely insane because I think 40 degrees Hurricane 3 Chenmeng is around 34 to 35. So this is like H3 level, Hurricane 3 level hardness. And yeah, it feels really firm, like an H3. So I can't even imagine like taking this off and then feel how grippy it is. I'm not gonna do that like now. I'm gonna do that when I assemble the paddle. Yeah, but this is ridiculous, and I can't wait to feel the grip of this. Like when I take this off, this is crazy. So these two rubbers are pretty much the best rubber in the world and the craziest thing. Like for me, I think like ever lay my hands on. You can argue my forehand, the player version of H3 is like as crazy, but this is just, you know, butterfly special. Now it's time to assemble. So the person who's getting this rubber is using the good old classic Viscaria. What's special about this Viscaria is like not fish scale or anything. It's because this is a slightly older Viscaria. It's T series. No, it's not a YouTube channel. It's just like every single year the letter will increase. So ABC. So after T is U and then V, W. So right now we're at K. So after Y, the Y series, they skipped Z because Janjika left Donic and they're petty. So, and it started with K, I think. So currently we're at K and maybe L even. So this one right now, I just washed this, so it's a little bit heavy. I think right now this is around 88 grams. 88.2 grams is shown here. And after I'm gonna put it in the dry box over there, and that will come down to around 87 to 86 grams. So I'm planning to dry it for like 2 days. On Sunday, I'll assemble. So for now, we're gonna boost the insane rubbers, the China D09C, the China D05, and the special made or Japan D09C. So okay, so this is China D05. Once again, this feels insanely grippy, the top sheet. I don't know what they did to it. So what we're gonna use is of course, the Falco Tempo Platinum. Not because this is the best for this sponge, it's because it lasts a very, very long time. I think Fanjindong or like national players uses one layer of kaolin, and they will put like a layer or two of glue on it, and then put a layer of chitin. This is slightly weaker. However, this thing lasts forever. It really softens the sponge and then give it like that extra kick and spin instead of pure performance. It's just that little bit, which it helps because we are trying to soften the sponge. This is almost as hard as the D09C, and the other one is even harder version of D09C. So we're really trying to soften the sponge here. Just tell you how long this thing lasts. This is a typical DNA hybrid rubber. So this is what like Winripple uses, but like in a softer degrees. Typical ESN rubber, like when you open it, it will reverse dome after a while. Basically all of them. This is treated with one medium to thick layer of Falco Tempo Platinum in, I think, December or January. And now this is 7 months. So these two rubbers are 7 months old. As you can see, this is not reverse doming. There's still slight dome here. Like this is just not wearing off, whatever this is. So both sides too. So this is M, hybrid M. This is DNA hybrid H. So both of them are actually just not wearing off. Look at that. No reverse dome whatsoever. If I put another layer of this can fit perfectly on like back to the Viscaria. Like the Viscaria, these two rubber was on like perfectly if I just put another layer. Without even shrinking. So this is absolutely crazy. And to be fair, like we're not changing rubber for until it's like dead or for 6 to a whole year, 6 months to a whole year. So this thing will give a very long lasting performance. It just help to get that extra performance out. And yeah, like I said, we're not pros, so each rubber will last us 6 months to a year, of course. So I'm gonna go like a little bit heavy on the D05. This D05 is just crazy hard. And turn the light on. So classic good old paper towel here. China D05. Make sure everything on it is clean. No impurities. I want to just make the best paddle possible because this is the best rubber pretty much in the world. So I'm just gonna do a layer of Falco Platinum onto the sponge. I apply it directly onto the sponge because this takes forever to dry. This takes like a whole day to 2 whole days. So 24 to 48 hours to dry and just to soak in. So especially if you're doing just one layer. So 2 layers will take like at least 2 days. So I want to make sure this is completely dried before I put glue on it and assemble it onto the blade. Yeah, so however, when you initially apply the booster, you want it to be very even, spread as evenly as possible, because you don't have the luxury of the glue layer helping you like a buffer for the booster layer to be spread evenly. So you gotta make sure, use the light to shine it in a certain angle. You're looking at a certain angle and make sure this layer of booster is very, very evenly distributed. You want that consistent feeling across the rubber. So I'm gonna go like a little heavy here. Yeah, so I don't recommend doing this on Tenergy and Rosina and Glazer, all that stuff. Oh, actually Glazer I think is fine. But just really hard D09C rubber. Maybe Zyra 03, I'm not too sure. Never tried it yet. I mean, I have, but never tried it personally yet. But I'm not sure about Zyra, but for D09C series, like especially 05 and 09C, you do one layer. One like medium layer is very, very good. Since this is like the national version that is like super hard, I'm gonna go like a thick layer because the person using this is unfortunately not a advanced pro. I'm not a pro. There's very few pro around me, and let's just soften the sponge up and then give it as much spin and kick as possible, all the help it can have. And people will be like, oh, what is the point of buying a harder rubber if you're just gonna soften it up anyways? Why not just get a softer rubber instead? Because when you boost like a harder rubber, it's actually still more powerful because the density is still there. So even though, like, let's say 42 degrees Hurricane 3 fully boosted, it's gonna even if I measure it at 40 degrees, it's gonna be a lot faster and harder, like more powerful than like a 41 degrees boosted to 40, or just a 40 degrees itself. So yeah, this is very even. This is as even as possible, I think. So perfect there. I'm gonna lay that down, and now I'm gonna do the D09C. Do I actually take off the top there? I think I will, because I want the top sheet to stretch as well as the rubber, the sponge. So here we go. I can't wait to see how tacky this is. Oh my god. Yeah, this is insane grip. Crazy grip. Okay, lay this down. And I'm just gonna go slightly lighter, because this like feels like kind of like closer to a normal like D09C for me, like just on the touch. So I'm not too sure how, because there's another China D09C. I don't know, maybe that sponge is even harder. I'm not sure if I will ever find out, because because I don't use D09C, I'm probably not gonna buy more in the future. That depends on if my friend want one or not. So for now, I'm gonna do like a slightly thinner layer than the China D05, and then still pretty much a medium layer of Falco. So make sure, since we don't have the glue to help, make sure this is spread super evenly. I'm being super careful right now, because usually I just grab it with my hand and then go to town, but this is like mission critical. I'm not mission critical. This is like the best rubbers in the world, and I would just want it to be basically perfect. Oh, there's some dirt here. Weird. Okay. As even as possible. I'm gonna go this way as well, just to make sure this is as even as possible. You can see I'm looking at a certain angle, because I can tell how even it is with the light shining in a certain way. Okay. Dirt is still there. There we go, it's off. I want to make sure even the edges are perfectly evenly boosted. Okay, that's about it. I'm gonna check. Little bit like last year, but oh well. Overall, like the sweet spot is here. It's perfect. So yeah. So we're gonna now wait a whole day to 2 days. I think I'm gonna wait for 2 days, 1.5 to 2 days, because tomorrow I have a tournament. Hopefully I reach 2K US ATT, and on Sunday I'll glue this on Sunday afternoon or night. So we're waiting for 2 whole days to make sure this layer is completely dry. The dome effect is completely taken care of, and then we'll put 3 layers of glue on the rubber side and 2 on the blade. We're gonna go thick on the glue, because this is national player stuff. We're not joking around. So yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday. All right, now it's time for the assembly of China National D05 and also Japan National D09C on the Viscara. So the Viscara just out of the dehydration box. It was, I think, around 88 grams. So now let's check the weight now. 86.6. So I told you it's gonna be 86 to 87 grams. And yeah, so what's special about this one is it's because it's tea. So it's a little bit old. Very, very loud and very resonant. And yeah, so I think like just the older the Viscara is, the harder they are, I think, usually. But anyway, so let's start with the rubber first. So the plan of the layers we're gonna do is 3 thick layers on the rubber and 2 thick layers on the blade. That's the plan. We're gonna do that right now. So I'm once again using the Revolution number 3 odorless one, 500 milliliter. Not because it's the best, because I am gluing a massive amount of blade and paddle, and this is just best bang for the bucks. And I can spam layers and then do a very even layers as well. So yeah, so this is D09C. Let's dry it up. Let's do a thick layer. Okay, this is pretty thick. And let's just start spreading the glue. Honestly, I can't wait to see the performance of these two rubbers. It's gonna be absolutely bonkers. Oops. This is why I use a paper towel, because like over there, I put too much glue and it just rolled off the edge onto the paper towel, so no harm is done. And also, if this thing gets on your clothing, you are royally screwed. It will just be like a permanent glue dot on your clothing of choice, and you cannot get rid of it. You can even try acetone, still not gonna work. So, yep. Make sure this is even. And I just came back from the table tennis tournament, and I don't think I reached 2K. I think I lost like 20 points. However, I did get 30 in the open, so that was pretty nice. So yeah, I won't be making I made 2K USATT rating video. That's not gonna happen for years. Because the next time I'm gonna go to a tournament will be like next year summer or something like that. I'll be back to just playing with other people and coaching, I guess, for fun. Because table tennis at the end of the day is just for fun. My heydays are yo-yoing, and I made national finals, kind of. So now I just do yo-yo friend stuff on the side. So yeah, make sure this is even. I want to be like as even as possible. This is like literally one of the best rubber in the world, or the best rubber in the world. Not gonna like joke around. This will be the best paddle I assembled, period. So this is how even it is. Put it aside. So for this, I have to wait. I'm gonna wait at least 30 minutes for it to completely dry, and then put another layer, and then wait 30 minutes. Make sure it's at least 30 minutes. I want it to be completely dry, none of the wet stuff making the ball drops. Like, this is just very minute things you gotta watch out for if you want to do the best paddle. And I am also not using a hair dryer or a can air, or I mean electric can air, electric air or whatever, duster, duster. Not using all of that. Just letting it dry naturally, and I'm just gonna wait it out. Make sure they're completely dry. And as you can see, this is very thick there. That's really good. So the only thing I really want to try after this is the China D09C. Because this is the Japan version, Japan national team version, not the China D09C. And maybe next time somebody want that, one of my friend, I'll source it somewhere. But my yo-yo manufacturer will probably help me on that one as well. And we'll see how that goes. So recently I'm gonna do like a video on the Donic Blue Grip J1 developed by Zhangji Ke, and we're gonna test the J1 and J2 on a Zhangji Ke original carbon. So that would be a fun video. And yeah, I'm gonna try to spread this as even as possible. Yeah, it's pretty even. I'm gonna go a couple more. One thing I like about Revolution 3 is very, very low viscosity. So it's just like mostly water. But you got so much time for you to spread as even as possible, like this. So that's that. And now the blade, once again, thick layer. Let's do the backhand first. Nice. decent amount. Need, oh my God. Sadly, the placement in a tournament doesn't really affect your USATT rating. Even though I got third, I got beat by like 1800 somehow. I trained all summer for rallies, like just like swing speed. I lost weight. I'm a lot faster. Like in a rally, I'm going crazy. But I did not account for serve and receive, and that is very important because that's what ultimately decides who wins and who loses in let's say amateur level like me, like around 2K USATT. Since we're not pros, right? Pros are like 2400. They don't care about serves. They're just automatic. So yeah, this is already very even. So I'm gonna leave this alone. So I'm gonna do one more layer on this and 2 more on those. Now I'm gonna wait for at least 30 minutes. So see you guys then. So now the second layer, I already did the D05, but my glue bottle was blocking the camera. So you guys won't see me putting glue on that, the second layer of that. But the D09C, I'm gonna move the glue bottle away from the camera, and you guys can see me putting the second layer here. Once again, the D05 already put the second layer on. It's not on video, my bad. So only the D09C and the mascara itself will be on camera. Once again, I am doing 3 plus 2. That means 3 on the rubber and 2 on the blade. I'm all doing very thick layers because this is very good rubber. I really want to have a protective dome on it. Maybe like we can move this into different like paddles or blade in the future if needed without breaking down the sponge. Because when you rip a rubber out of the paddle away from the blade, it kind of damages the sponge a little bit, especially if it's soft. Why is there a hair in here in this? Get it out. This thing happens. Oh well. Okay, so that hair is gone. I'm gonna keep going. We don't want to play with rubber that has hair in the sponge. Okay. Make sure this is as even as possible. After this, I'm gonna wait another 30 minutes or 30 plus minutes. You can wait as long as possible, as long as there's no dust accumulations. But 30 minutes is general rule of thumb if you want like the best performance. Like no compromise. Alright, very even. Once again, D05 is already have a glue layer on there. I'm just gonna put the second layer on the mascara. I'm gonna go a little bit thick again because just really want to make that protective film. So when you rip it apart, trying to rip the glue away from the sponge itself, it's an easier time. I think the sponge will tank it because, especially the China D05, it's very hard. The D09C is hard too, but traditionally it's the lighter sponge that struggles with the tearing of the glue. It will get stuck on there, and then it's very easy to have holes in them, poke holes in them as well. Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Like soft ESN sponges. Horrendous. Okay. Okay, this is very even. So, actually, make sure this is all the way. One more pass. Really want this to be perfect because close friend and the best rubber in the world. So yeah, 2 layers on the blade. So then I'm gonna do 1 more layer on the rubbers and then 2 more on this side, and then we'll cut it. So now for the final layer on the rubber, 3rd layer, the blade is 2 layers. I already did that. So be using this much glue. This so much glue, and actually more, like half a bottle already in the summer. That's how much like paddles I've been making. Absolutely crazy. Once again, generous amount. Here we go. Yep. Once again, as even as possible. No bubbles, no nothing. Come on. All right. There we go. Very even. Last layer on the D09C. I'm actually gonna weight them so we can get an idea on how much like the rubber weights, if they are like heavier than the normal version. I know the normal version with a bunch of glue, the D05 is around 48 grams. Yeah. So maybe I think it might be like a gram or 2 heavier. I'm not too sure. So the goal of this paddle is to get it around 190 to 189. So I'm not sure if it's gonna go over or under, because that's what the person prefers. Like she prefers slightly heavier because she's pretty strong. She currently uses her blade, her whole paddle weight is around 185. So she thinks it's a little too light. So yeah, hopefully with this amount of glue and like the national version, they're a bit heavier. And yeah, because theoretically D05, let's say with glue is 48, and then the next D09C with glue will be around 51. So the whole blade weight will be around like 186 like grams. So that's too light. So hopefully with like thicker layer of glue and just the harder version, the national version of D05 and D09C, the blade weight will go up. The whole paddle weight will go up to close to 190. That's a go. 180, 189, 190. around there, just a couple grams more. Viscaria is very balanced. The person won't feel too much, and it will be like a lot more powerful because of the weight. F equals MA, and then the day, M is mass, so mass matters for power, force. Like going from a heavier blade to a lighter blade, I can tell like, oh, your backhand quality went down immediately because the whole blade weight went down. There we go, very even. And then we are going to put the D05, China D05 on the blade first, and then cut it, and then put two layers on the blade, and then put the D09C on there. So see you guys in 30 minutes for the symbol of the backhand. All right, time to put the D09C China version, China national team version, on the backhand. All right, put a light close to. This definitely feels like heavier than a normal D09C, and just a lot more grip here. All right, here we go. And get the light as close as possible. Try to make this perfect. Roller, just a generic water bottle. Okay. Want this to be dead even. And press it hard a little bit at the beginning and then gently roll it. Make sure it's gently so you don't stretch the rubber. It might improve performance, but when you take it off, it's not gonna fit on any blade anymore. It's gonna shrink. Make sure there's no bubbles, so I don't have to redo this. And roll like lightly a couple times. And then you can roll it heavier. I can't roll it too heavy because this thing can deform and then form bubbles on the rubber. So you can, I'm gonna check this is all flat, and then I'm gonna use my fingers to press on the edges to make sure this is on the blade. I have sanded the blade over again with 100 grit sandpaper, lightly of course. We don't want to shave anything off the top line. Yeah. The grip on this is absolutely crazy. I don't know. I'm more impressed by like the grip of the top sheet of this China D05 than how hard this is. Okay, so now we're gonna cut it. Draw a couple more times. Make sure this is good to go. Just cut it. Crispy sounding. D05 is actually notorious for the top sheet just to disintegrate. Hopefully this national version doesn't have that problem. Okay. This is a decent cut, not my best, but I'll fix it with some sandpaper. But as you can see here, this is flat, tons of grip, and yeah, one layer of Falco Platinum. So I'm gonna try to fix the edges, sand it a little bit, and then I'll come back and then put some glue on the forehand. Alright, I have sanded the edges, so now it's perfect. Look at it. Absolutely amazing. So one thing I noticed while cutting the rubber is it's a lot more crispier than the normal D09C or anything actually, like besides Hurricane. And it just have that crispy sound. Top sheet is just crazy grip. And also, like, the sponge feels harder. It feels very hard. And when I bounce the ball on it, it feels a lot more support. It's like hitting on like a board. It's absolutely ridiculous. Can't wait to see how this plays. And also, I really want to weight this because a normal D09C 05 with a bunch of glue that I just used is around 47 to 48 grams. So I suspect this will be heavier because of the heavier sponge. So the blade is around 87 grams. So this is interesting. So with the glue and the rubber, this is exactly around 50 grams. So this is around 2 grams heavier than the regular D09C 05. Very, very interesting. With heavy glue, it's 48 grams. So this is 50 with heavy glue as well. So it's around 2 grams heavier than the regular D09C 05. Makes sense because the sponge is harder. I suspect the top sheet is different too. Maybe it's heavier too. Okay, so now let's put glue on the forehand and then put D09C on. So 2 layers on the forehand side. Make sure the sponge is clean as well. Okay, I need to cut this. So what I do is I just cut this off to make sure this is even and clean. So there we go. Here we go. I'm gonna put a generous amount because I need that glue. Get that protection there going. Since this is a lot of glue, I'm gonna be careful and not to spill over. I really don't want the glue to get on the other side of the rubber, the D09C 05 China version. Just in general. Let the blade soak in the glue. So it's easier to spread. Yeah, overdid a little bit. Hair again. Okay. Okay, this is very even. All right, this is good. And now we're gonna do a second layer in about 30 minutes or 20 minutes. All right, put the glue layer for the final glue layer on the blade. The second one, I forgot to film it. Oh well. So yeah, now I'm gonna wait for 30 more minutes and then put the rubber on. And then let's see what the final weight is. All right, this is it. Japan National D09C on the forehand. Here we go. One thing I noticed is like these rubbers feels like crispy somehow. They just feel a certain way. Okay. Roller. The top sheet feels, I swear it feels a little different. lightly go over. Yeah, the thing is tacky. Make sure it's flat. Good. Now use fingers to press the edges. Make sure it's all good. I wonder what the weight is on the D09C, on the Japan National. Probably around the same or slightly heavier, because this is not like super hard. It's only like about 1.5 degrees harder. Yeah. Okay. Cutting time. Yeah, it's like crispier than the normal D09C that I remembered. It's easier to cut, because the harder the sponge is, the crispier the cutting experience is. And this is really crispy right now. Okay. I basically did a perfect cut, so there will be no need to sand anything because I just did a perfect cut. Yeah. Once again, it's easier to cut harder sponges. So in this case, the D09C is harder and firmer, so it's an easier cut. But this is it. So let's measure the weight. So with the D05 on the back end, the weight it's 137.6 if I remember correctly. So D05 with a bunch of glue is 50 grams. 188. So this is 51 grams, 51.5 around there, 51.5. So it's like 0.5. Like it's around the same as the commercial version, so that's very interesting. That the weight of it's barely more than the commercial version. Once again, the total blade weight is 187.7, but like with the humidity coming in, it will be around 188, which is about 3 grams heavier than her. Than the rubbers she was using, the blade weight. So this is like the perfect weight, 188 grams. You know, not too heavy, not too light. So yeah, I can't wait to see how this performs. Maybe I'll make a video on that, maybe I will not. So yeah.